Tennessee Air National Guard is teaming up with a local fire department for live fire training. In the event of a structure fire on Maggie Tyson Air National Guard base, the Alcoa Fire Department can respond with personnel and equipment.
Yes, anytime firefighters get to burn something, they get excited. It's a good day if we have a fire in a training situation.
Training is always exciting for firefighters, but critical in strengthening team bonds. It also allows airmen to familiarize themselves with city firefighters and their procedures.
It's a very nice facility, and the guys enjoy coming over and actually getting to accomplish this training.
Alcoa also supports the military by providing the training site for live fire structure training, which is an annual requirement for airmen. This partnership is a great example of similar mutual aid agreements at Air National Guard bases across the country. And that's your Minuteman Report. Many think that the Air Force ground mission is complete once the munitions are loaded and the jets are launched. But behind the scenes, on the ground, near the target, Air Force Tactical Air Control Party are there, calling the shots.
Call it in, get some suppression on that ZSU.
Rough Rider 170. We were Joint Terminal Attack Controllers. We direct airstrikes for different types of ground units.
Georgia Air National Guard TACPs trained at Townsend Range by controlling the D.C. Air National Guard's F-16s.
This week we've been doing JTAC training for some of our younger guys and experienced guys, getting currencies, calling in bombs from the 121st out of D.C.
From a TACP's view, every day is a good day when you control air.
My job's awesome. I get to go play in the range, get to go run around in military vehicles, shoot guns, blow stuff up. So, best job in the Air Force, guaranteed.
Reporting from Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center, I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. The 113th Wing Weapons Shop is using Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center to inspect their real-world proficiency.
A lot of what we do in our training is done in the confines of a load barn. So the environment is very sterile, unfortunately, which is not exactly realistic for when we're out here on the flight line and there's maintainers moving around and vehicles moving around and engines running. So this gives us the greatest opportunity to focus in on weapons loading, even with all the distractions. The thing about it is that we're testing our ability to react to negative things. We do get the opportunity to just try to figure out what the worst thing that could happen to you and do it to you.
On Joint Base Andrews, they work with limited types of bombs, but here in Savannah, they can practice with a wide variety.
On a normal combat training side, we don't really use these munitions. So this is a good opportunity, like I keep saying, to move around 500-pounders and continue to try to maintain our proficiency.
Reporting from Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center, I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. Airman First Class Rachel Allen is a new member of the 113th D.C. Air National Guard and the Airfield Management career. Sentry Savannah is the first exercise or TDY that she has ever been a part of, and it is proving to be an eye-opening experience.
We're doing a lot of F-16 missions, so it's really cool for me to get to see how my job directly correlates if it were, a real mission. So it's definitely really cool to be able to be next to the pilots and see what they're doing and be able to watch the fight and see everything that's going on. So it's definitely really cool. I've never seen any of it up close like this before.
With 2 weeks of training, she will have a great opportunity to learn her job and how it fits into the Air Force mission.
It's definitely a really good experience. I've only been in 2 years. I still have 4 more left to go, so I'm really excited, and it's been a good experience so far for me.
Reporting from Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center, I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. D.C. Air National Guard members have all hands on the 8 F-16s while at Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center. 177 personnel train for the upcoming AEF by launching large force employments with other Air Guard units.
So we are here in Savannah to work fighter integration with the F-22s and the F-16s, Green Mountain Boys from Vermont. So we're doing a host of training in accordance with our doc statement and our missions that we expect to face in the AEF.
DC takes advantage of great accommodations and facilities with a non-stop training schedule. Jets launch twice a day, aircraft maintenance, and the support personnel work non-stop.
Here in Savannah, they have the airspace and the location where we can utilize assets that we don't have up in DC.
Training missions like these encompass the whole unit, and all personnel are essential to launching jets. Reporting from Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center, I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. Members from the 113th Air Crew Flight Equipment Repair Shop are getting a lot of good training this week in Georgia.
When you're flying with these guys, it's always different every time we go up. It's like a roller coaster that doesn't end until you land. It's like an hour-and-a-half roller coaster sometimes. The FAM program is really for familiarization of equipment, and that's what we're doing. We've gone to the chamber, we've gone through combat survival, we've gone through water survival, and this is just to familiarize ourselves with the changing flight equipment that these guys have to fly with every day. We maintain all the equipment that keeps these pilots awake and conscious, and then in the event of an emergency would keep them alive. We work on pretty much every piece of gear that touches the pilot's body with the exception of the aircraft controls.
Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center helps the DC Air National Guard train for an all-encompassing real-world mission. The space allows for weapons training, and pilots can fly missions over the range. The Georgia Air National Guard's 165th Air Support Operations Squadron Tactical Air Control Party were on the ground at Townsend Bombing Range.
This week we've been doing JTAC training for some of our younger guys and experienced guys, getting currencies, calling in bombs from the 121st out of DC.
The TACPs controlled 2 F-16s, which dropped a total of 8 inert Mark 82s successfully on target. Reporting from Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center, I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. The Orchard Combat Training Center in Idaho have tanks on the ground for the Army National Guard's Exportable Combat Training Capability Program. Savannah's training is providing FAM flight opportunities, which allows aircraft maintainers to gain a different perspective on their job.
Well, the FAM program, I guess it's a way to give maintenance or any other personnel that work directly with aircraft the ability for familiarization for the actual what they do. For me, I work with all the 8 different avionic systems, so it was very helpful for me to be able to see all the systems in use during flight and actually for the mission.
Senior Airman Olmsted had the opportunity to ride with Colonel Valentine and learn a little bit more about avionics.
The flight was tiring, definitely not necessarily what I expected. I didn't really know what to expect, but I got to see how all the different systems are incorporated together. I work with a lot of the different systems, so it's nice to see them actually work in the air.
Reporting from Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center, I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. A total of 74 airmen will rebuild Ogre Schoolhouse roof and install a perimeter fence for Adazi School.
I know a lot of prior planning has gone in place. The embassy has been really involved and working with us. The projects are laid out. We have the knowledge and skills to complete the mission and definitely have a positive workforce ready to go.
These humanitarian projects will help provide training for civil engineer personnel, as well as build relationships with Latvians to last for generations. Reporting from Adazi Military Base, Latvia, I'm Air Force Technical Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. Ogre High School in Latvia receives a new roof, while Michigan and DC Air Guard civil engineers conduct training.
We're the 110th, and we're working with a few of the contractors from here from Latvia, also some of the Latvian Army. Kind of cool to learn their culture a little bit, and they're very eager to work with us.
Humanitarian Civic Assistance Projects allows cross-training with U.S. and foreign military while providing aid to a partnering country.
Right now we're working on the roof for the school. We're installing insulation for the top of it before we put down a tar layer on top. Ultimately, we're putting on layers of insulation and a new roof because I guess I have heating problems in the wintertime because it gets pretty cold here. This will help kind of make the environment for the top floor a little bit better. This has been a great trip, a little warm, but otherwise it's been great.
U.S. and Latvian military members get a chance to build relationships, learn from each other, and enhance education environments. Reporting from Adagi Military Base, I'm Air Force Technical Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. Engineering assistants from D.C. and Michigan Air National Guard take advantage of training opportunities as they assist the Latvian military. Guardsmen are helping to develop an aircraft parking plan for the brand new runway on Airbase Lovarde.
Me in particular, I'm fairly new to the Air Force, so this was a training experience for me. We did a 3-4-5 triangle, measured everything by hand, and then transferred those measurements to our CAD system and laid out the runway in the CAD program. With that information, we made offsets in the CAD program, and then we can tell the Latvian Air Force how many, where they can park, and how they can park in particular aircraft. I've gained a lot of valuable information. Again, tech school, you only learn so much until you're actually on the job. So my superiors, my instructors here have taught me a lot of stuff about just doing minimal things to further my career. So I've learned a ton. Anytime you go to a different country, there's going to be a language barrier, there's going to be communication barriers, but how you go about it and how you work shows the host nation how well the Air Force works. What we're going to do, we're going to do our best. No matter what country it is, we're doing our best. So for the Latvians to see that, I think that'll put a lot of faith in America in them.
The 113th Wing District of Columbia Air National Guard has a very unique federal mission, setting themselves apart from other Guard units. On Veterans Day at the National Mall, while most military members are off, DC Guardsmen worked as special police.
I feel like I'm actually out here doing something, out here to help people, help out the community that I serve.
75 members augmented DC Park Police to provide crowd control, ensuring safety and security during the Concert for Valor.
The opportunity is great. The people that I'm working with are great wingmen. Love being out here, and I'll volunteer for future opportunities to do this. This is awesome.
The 113th DC Air National Guard pilots are accomplishing their combat survival training, focusing on evasion and recovery. Pilots go through academics, then receive an intel brief and learn about their scenario before being dropped into the woods.
So today we're doing combat survival training for our pilots. It's a 36-month requirement that they get out here in the field and go through some evasion and survival and recovery techniques so they can be prepared if they go down range for a worst case scenario.
The mission is to evade and stay alive as they make contact with recovery personnel to reach their final destination. Augmentees play enemy aggressors to intercept the pilots, cause confusion, and provide a real-world scenario.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to simulate as best as we can a personal recovery scenario.
Evasion and recovery is a 36-month requirement and is only one component of combat survival training. Reporting from Joint Base Andrews, I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Tabitha Hurst. The Maryland Army National Guard's Counter-Drug Task Force is teaming up with the Maryland law enforcement to teach children teamwork and leadership through baseball. Staff Sergeant John Higgins has more.